Hey guys, it's your girl Jackie O. Welcome back to my channel. So today on this video, I wanted to give you guys a somewhat in-depth way on how you can contour and highlight like a pro. I'm going to be showing you guys more than one method because there are a few ways that you can get the most natural looking contours, the most dramatic looking highlights, and so on and so forth. The sockets of the eyes, the sides of the nose, any part of the face that you want it to recede or look more sunken in. Highlighting is the exact opposite. Any part of the face that you would want to illuminate or really help enhance, you would highlight. So underneath the eyes to make up for a little bit of the darkness that we naturally have, the chin and the center of the forehead. Otherwise, our foundation just looks completely all one-dimensional. There's quite a few methods, and in some variations they're a little bit different, but I feel as if for the most part the end result is overall fairly similar. So I'm going to be demonstrating how you would go about executing those looks. So depending on how you want your contour and highlight to look like, there's going to be a few different tools that you can use. I typically reach for brushes that are a little bit more on the fluffier side for a more naturally diffused contour. This one is from MAC. This is the 138. Sigma has a really good dupe for this exact same brush. This one is from e.l.f. It is their, doesn't have a name actually, but if you go and you find the tapered pointed one, I believe this is their blush brush. Works great for contouring. For highlighting, I typically reach towards 190 from MAC. This one is a foundation brush actually. It's flat, it's tapered, and you've got those edges there so you can get right up in the corners and really apply product really well. Another preferred brush that I like to contour with cream products is this one from e.l.f. This is from their standard line, I believe, and it is just a flat foundation brush. I mean, it gets the job done. It's like $3 and it's a really good brush. I'm also going to be using my Beauty Blender sponge for its big fat bottom when I'm contouring and its pointed tapered edge when I am using concealer products underneath the eye so you can get all in those corners. This is Blunt Blush from MAC. It is a dark brown. It's about 2 shades darker than my complexion. I wouldn't go anything darker than 2 to 3 shades. I think anything darker than that is just too much. But this one is a little bit for more of a cooler contour. And Embark is a reddish brown eyeshadow. Yes, you can use other, just because a product is not labeled for contouring, it doesn't mean it can't be used. And this is just basically a warm reddish brown, and it's also matte. Make sure you stick to products that have no shimmer. I'm gonna be highlighting today with Black Opal Stick Concealer because it just gets the job done well. The coverage is beautiful and it's a really nice shade. And I'm also going to be using my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. I busted the jar in Nigeria, so I put it in this little travel size one, which makes it a little bit easier to work with anyway. Then I'm going to be working with a translucent powder. This one is the Ben Nye Banana Luxury Powder. So the first method I'm going to show you is how to contour and highlight underneath the foundation, and this one is a method that I like to use for when I want more of a diffused looking, natural looking contour. The first thing that you would do is I'm going to be using a cream product. I'm going to start off by using a foundation brush and on the low points of my cheekbones, and then I'm also using that same foundation brush, not applying any more product, I'm applying this along my temples. Then I would take my concealer. Now the concealer realistically should not be anywhere any more than 2 shades lighter, and even 2 shades I feel is pushing it. I'm gonna take a sponge and I'm gonna blend the two out. I'm making sure that my sponge is damp and I'm blending all of that out and just smoothing it out, eliminating any harsh lines. And then I'm gonna use the fatty end of the sponge to blend out the contour. You don't wanna actually see the contour line. By the way, I'm only going to do this on one half of the face. I'm going to show you another technique on the opposite end so you can compare the two, see if you can see the difference. And on top of that, I'm going to apply my foundation. I like to use a big buffer brush, and I just kind of stipple and apply the foundation on top of where we applied our contour and highlight. This is the Black Up Cosmetics Cream to Powder Foundation. For the concealer, I like to do one quick layer over with that foundation. I don't go over it again, I just do it one time. Otherwise it kind of like just covers it and you don't want to cover it. And then I also apply the foundation into my forehead, and that's pretty much it. It's very simple, it's very seamless, it looks natural. Like you can tell that I have like prominent cheekbones, but you don't really know the trickery I had to do to get them. So that is technique number 1. Technique number 2 is probably the most, I would say, widely used or widely accepted technique, and this is contouring and highlighting over your foundation. When you do it with a cream product, it tends to look a little bit more on the natural side. If you really want like a bold, daring contour, you would use both a cream product and a powder product on top to help seal that cream product in. So I'm gonna first show you how you would do it with a cream product. So I'm gonna still be working with that cream foundation. You can either go straight down for a more harsh sculpted. If you want more of a Janet Jackson looking contour, you can do like a half W shape. This one is actually my favorite, so I'm gonna keep it that way. You would apply your concealer under eye, and then you're gonna blend the two with a beauty blender sponge. No matter which method I do, I always just go back with my foundation brush, just a teensy bit around the edges, and blend everything together. And then of course, because concealers crease, this is a step I didn't do on the first side, but you always want to set it with a powder. If you really want it to look a lot more bolder, you can then set your contour with a powder. Starting at the hairline, I'm just going in one direction and I am swiping that onto the skin. I feel like doing it this way as opposed to just striping it like I used to do gives it a little bit more of a natural look. And then I also apply a bit of that without adding any more product. I'm applying a bit of that along the jawline and into the neck, because most of the time, 9 times out of 10, we're a little bit lighter on our neck. So definitely use a contour or a bronzer along that neckline. So that is technique number 2. For those of you guys that want that more sculpted and prominent contour and highlight, it would be this look here. So the third technique that I really like doing is a technique most commonly known as reverse contouring. I learned this one from Eve Pearl actually, and it's kind of hard to explain, but it's like you are highlighting the opposite parts of the face to make it look like you contoured when really you didn't. Let me explain, okay? You're gonna take your concealer. This one's from Black Opal. I've already applied foundation all over this side of the face. I'm going to highlight underneath the eye. I'm going to take that same concealer and a foundation brush right below where you would normally contour, you would highlight instead. And you would draw the same shape like you would as if you were contouring, except you are highlighting below where you would have contoured. You see how it looks like I contoured and I didn't? So that is what you would call reverse contouring, because it's literally like the reverse of the traditional method. And then I would then take my beauty blender sponge and I'm gonna blend all of that out. I would take like a bronzer or like blunt blush, and again in the same method that we used the first time, I'm just brushing downward strokes, brushing inward towards the nose. So what do you guys think? Which one's your favorite? Do you like contouring underneath foundation? Do you like contouring on top of it? You like a little bit more drama? Or do you like the reverse contouring? Which one is your favorite? Let me know if you guys have any questions on contouring and highlighting. I hope this video wasn't too fast, but I wanted it to be straight to the point, fairly simple. This is just a little bit more in-depth look on how they all compare side by side. So I hope you guys found this helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to thumbs up, girl. Share it. And if you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? I'm judging you. All right, y'all. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.
Dropping the pressure. Give it a